Welcome back to a May 2019 bullet journal setup video. And this month theme will be the theater. This video will pretty much cover the beginning of the month. The first week will actually be in the later video. On this first page, we're gonna be starting with a banner heading and the monthly calendars, similar to how my previous month has been done with little calendars in each corner each week. The banner is really simple and it's made to blend into the page. So this next banner that I'm creating is the one that's going to actually hold the words May in it. I like the way the banner looked, not so much the way I drew the words. This top banner that I'm creating will hold the words freedom and love. And now I'm actually starting on the mask itself. I tried to make it as symmetrical as possible, but that turned out to be kind of impossible. My art is not that advanced. Pretty much a beginner, and I chose this theme to really challenge myself. I went online and I Googled mask. If you Google it, you'll find this exact mask. Well, not really exact. I changed it up a little bit. I added a couple of dots. The swirls aren't exactly the same, but it's very similar. So you'll know exactly which one I based this uh, mask off of. The right hand eye is actually going to be completely shaded in, while the left hand eye, you can see I drew out the eye itself. I drew the whole mask itself in pencil first to make sure that I did it right and got it as good as I thought I could get it. And then this is me just pretty much tracing that mask. The photo had some really interesting marks above the eye, and I tried to recreate that because they kind of look like commas, but not so much. I assumed that they would be pieces of glitter or gold, however the mask is created. Um, and I do go over that with a gold gel pen, as I'm doing right now. And so I add a lot of gold in here. And once I do some gold, I realize, okay, so gold will be part of my theme. What's another color to go with the gold? And I pick a burgundy red, really pretty, similar to the color of my nails, actually. Um, and I fill this all in and I go through this whole entire thing, and I keep forgetting that my gel pens need to dry. So in a lot of places I end up smudging my hand across the um the gold or the gel pen. This is actually the Crayola Super Tips. This is where I first looked at trying to find a color that matched it, and then I just decided to, well, let me put a little bit on this one banner to kind of outline it. And then I decided to add a little bit more to this top one, and then I'll add it to the calendar at the bottom, and also as accent colors and highlights to the mask itself. I obviously started with the eye and I shaded in the eye, and then it just kind of went on from there. I've been working a little bit on my handwriting, um, because normally whenever I write, I just go in and I just go super sloppy, and I really need to make sure that I make it look, it takes away from my what I work so hard on in the bullet journal. So definitely going to start working on writing a lot neater than I have in the last month. Um, and really just, work on adding little accents, and even though the mask is on the first page, I don't keep that theme, just the mask itself, because the theme is theater, so I want to add everything itself that has to do with the theater itself, like fans and music and the shoes and just all kinds of things. So I throw in a bunch of different things throughout this month just to make it not so specific, I guess, not to one specific little niche. But the first thing obviously I wanted to do was the mask itself because it was something extremely dramatic. I was actually debating on whether or not I wanted to do one single ornate mask or if I wanted to do the two masks with like the misery, fortune, drama kind of thing. And I settled on this one because it was so big and I could kind of do like a mirror theme on both pages instead of putting a quote on one side or something else and have a blank page. Um, so this is me writing in this freedom and love. So moving on to the next page, this page is actually my monthly calendar itself. And instead of doing all of it in a line, I decided to do it in a calendar format, I guess. I mean, obviously. And so this will be an interesting thing to see what I do. And how I end up utilizing this space in this calendar. If I'll actually fill in what like I want my schedule to be, social media schedule, everything like that, or if I want my business stuff to be on this page as well. It really just depends. But I did allot space to it. I tried to stylize this M and it didn't turn out as well as I thought it was gonna turn out. I've kind of ended up the way it's stylized. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. The way it's stylized, it would be a much better if it was a much bigger M. That's what I want to say. With it being so small, it's kind of hard to see all of the art pieces, and then there's not enough space to actually, make all the swirls that are surrounding the M. But I try anyways, and then I end up kind of highlighting all this in red and then smudging it later. But, it is what it is. And I drew some little tiny masks, a couple of them, and then a couple of swirls on this page to kind of, stick with the theme and incorporate something different other than the mask itself is where I'm starting to do that throughout um, this page or this spread itself. And I just wrote out the days of the week on the calendar here. I tried to make it as neat as possible, but I didn't use a brush tip pen. I just used the Sakura Micron pen. And because it was so small, like the space was so small, I wouldn't have been able to do that much. And then I just decided to make a little tiny guide for colors at the top here, just to fill in the space of my Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, just the schedules so that I could post it here. Instead of making a separate calendar for social media, I just decided to dump it all on one page itself. And then just added a bunch of these colors. This is when I finally picked up a gel pen, and lo and behold, see how I'm going back and forth? I should definitely make sure that I work from left to right so that my hand isn't smudging across the work that I've already done, which is a lesson that I'm trying to do much better with. I think I do it a couple more times on a different pages. So I tried to stick some colors as close to what the theme of that specific social media was. So the light blue for Twitter, the dark blue for Facebook, kind of a purple color for Instagram, red for YouTube, and then my business and blog was obviously my own colors that I picked. Then I added some more scroll work on the side here, and then I'll color it in with gold accents. I like the way it just adds a little bit something to the side of the page here. And then the next page is just kind of a challenge that I'm doing for myself. And it's just 30 lessons in French to which I definitely want to spend my time um, really working on my French. And um, so I'll have like just pretty much, it was going to be 30 phrases in French, but I just changed it to lessons because um, sometimes the lessons that I'm doing, I'm using actually Pimsleur, in case you're wondering, is what I'm doing for that. Um, and, I just figured that it'd be a good place to put it. And I'll have to definitely write really small because I have 2 lines per lesson, really. And then I left the bottom completely blank in case I needed more room. That's pretty much it for this. And then I added the scroll work at the top, kind of, a little bit of that French theater theme. And I'll definitely color it in later and you'll see it through the flip through. This page is actually going to be my mood calendar or my mood tracker. And instead of doing something um, like a circle or whatever, I decided, well, since we're going with theater theme, I said we could do mask faces. So I draw 30 mask faces, even though there's 31 days in the month. My bad. I I divided this evenly, and then after I was done, I was like, oh, there's 31 days in the month. That's not gonna work. But I'm not definitely gonna. I've thought about taking a page from the back and covering it, and redoing it. And I'm like, nah, we'll just go with the flow. The last day of the month doesn't need to have what my mood is, and I can just write it at the bottom if I really need to. Um, this is only my second month doing this, so mistakes will be had. I'm gonna draw in all the eyes and the noses, and then I'll leave the face or the mouth itself blank so that I can fill in what my mood is gonna be, and then I can do a corresponding color for the face itself. I don't know if I'm gonna end up coloring all of them because the super tip markers tend to bleed through, and I don't want it to cover all my phrases in French so that I won't be able to actually use that page. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't end up coloring this page. I leave it blank, and then I just draw these little faces. Um, this next one is actually, instead of using the word like trackers or anything like that, I just said challenge yourself. And this is me just putting 2 little faces on here with some ribbons, and one of them's supposed to be a sad face, and I didn't really want to do that. So since it's a challenge myself page, I decided to make both of them happy, because you have to really want to challenge yourself to actually, to be better, and everything is a challenge. So I picked 9 challenges for myself, and I will write them out, and then, as I said, we'll go back and color it. The only one I think I color on camera is my mind dump page, I think, because as I was doing it, I was like, I might as well just color this in now. The other ones I have to think about later and color on to it. This mind dump, instead of drawing a couple of masks or specific items on this, I decided to draw a stage because obviously the theater, there's a stage, so I had to add it in my monthly section here. So this is my stage, and obviously I'll be throwing whatever comes across my mind and I think is important. I'll put it on this page. And then I go again trying to make a um, symmetrical theme on it. And I got pretty close. I'm pretty happy. And then I just title Record Your Inner Muse. So I just think of, um, you know, just what you want. You just, throw it on the page pretty much on the stage itself. And we'll see how it goes. And instead of doing the curtains completely in burgundy, I just outline it, and then I use this yellow gold um, super tip to kind of mimic the gold leafing that would be on the top of the stage and the designs that you would find on the roofs of it. That's pretty much it for that page. I really wanted to leave it blank for my own needs and wants and things and space to write. This specific page it's just things I want, really. I just wanted a page for specific things that I want for the month. That could be items, and it could be goals. It could be whatever I want it to be. Goals outside of my challenges, really. Um, like do 8 YouTube videos this month itself, or I want, I don't know, a new pack of pens or something like that, just whatever, just to fill that page in, and things that I want to write it down so that I always know that this at this time in my life I wanted these things. And then I decided to record what or write down what I'm going to purchase for groceries so that when I go to the store, I don't go crazy and spend a lot of money on grocery food. So I decided, okay, I'll go shopping 4 times this month, and then I'll write down exactly what it is I need, and then that's that. So that is pretty much my entire bullet journal, and then you'll see me adding more colors to the pages, or you'll see what I did when I added more colors to the pages. You see the little accents um, on these next pages that I have going here, the little red and gold at the top here, and wall of faces. Definitely a lot more color on this challenge yourself page. And that is pretty much it. So please let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you watched here. And as always, thanks so much for watching.